There you go. Very much so. And Richard's on a nice walk. How nice. Vince and Claire, it's so nice to see the two of you.
Barbara Turner.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, Sonny. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom. So friends, as it is 6:15, we are going to head on mute. And so that way we can begin our service. I'll start us off while Rabbi Singer's getting ready for a moment.
Can't hear.
So again, if as it says in the chat, both here on Zoom, and it will say it there on Facebook in a moment when I get it there. If you would like to submit names for Misha Berach or for Kaddish, you could do so at that link, and we'll make sure they are announced. And you could do that anytime in the service. Actually, you could do that anytime during the week, which is really important. And so you don't have to remember for Friday, and you don't even have to be at services to make sure a name is said. So our whole community is included that way. And there's live transcript on. You could turn it on or off as you so choose. And the link to the Siddur can be found in the chat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I think we're starting Cantor Katzman. And
why not?
Bullseye.
Yes. So this is, let's see, this is page 639, although there aren't that many words, but they're in Yiddish. So there. Okay, so here we go. Shabbos, Shabbos, jeden soll sein Shabbos. Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos auf der ganzen Welt. Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos auf der ganzen Welt. Yontef, Yontef, soll sein, Yontef. Yontef soll sein, Yontef soll sein, Yontef auf der ganzen Welt. Yontef soll sein, Yontef soll sein, Yontef auf der ganzen Welt. Last one. Sholem, Sholem, sein soll sein, Sholem. Sholem soll sein, Sholem soll sein, Sholem auf der ganzen Welt. Sholem soll sein, Sholem soll sein, Sholem auf der ganzen Welt.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I wanted to tell a quick story that I was talking to a really lovely man earlier this week, not Jewish, doesn't go to Temple Sholom. He was telling me about a business issue he was having. And I immediately put my problem-solving hat on, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm a rabbi, I know a lot of people, maybe we can find someone who can help you. And he kept being like, yes, that would be great, but let's start with prayer. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But like, maybe you could do this and you could try this social media thing. And he was like, yes, that all sounds very nice, but prayer first. And I kept kind of brushing it off. And he kept saying, no, like, let's start with prayer. And it made me realize that sometimes we all need to work on and think about what does it mean to actually take prayer seriously, and to think about what are we doing here? Why are we here? What's the purpose of this? And for me, taking prayer seriously means sitting with our deepest hope, the deepest articulation of our vulnerability, our ability to just sit and think about what we want to let go of in the past week and be honest with ourselves about what we're looking for and what we need in the weeks to come. And so I hope we can start with prayer first, and pray together and think about what it means to take prayer seriously. Not that many of you may need as much help with that as apparently I do. But we're going to begin by bringing more light into our world, by lighting the Shabbat candles. And I'm going to invite up the awesome, incredible colleague, Rabbi Gelman, to lead us in Shabbat candle lighting. And we are on page 120.
Thank you. And there on page 120, we are going to light our Shabbat candles, and the cantor is going to sing for us because her voice is much nicer.
I'll sing with all of you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And thank you, Morris, for hopping back there and lighting your candles.
Amen. We now take a moment to bring some sweetness into Shabbat and into this time of rest. And one person who brings incredible sweetness into our community is Helene Cohn. So I'm going to invite Helene up to lead us in the Kiddush, and we are on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yavahu v'ratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah L'mikraye kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu acharta, yatanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yavahu v'ratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Helene. We now take time to welcome in Shabbat with the joy that we would welcome in a new bride or a queen. So we turn to Lachadodi, and we're on page 138. And at the last verse, we can rise in either body or spirit.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשקט ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת חלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת חלה, ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בו התחלה, בו התחלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Rise and or stay standing, and we turn to page 146 for the Baruchu. Sometimes things happen. They can be wonderful, beautiful things. They can be terrible, difficult things, but things happen for which we have no words. We don't know how to express ourselves in the face of them. And so that's when we take time to lean into the ancient words of our prayer and to take comfort in the fact that we don't have to come up with new things to say, with the right thing to say. We can just say the thing that people have been saying for thousands of years, just listen. We are together. We're one. We turn to the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And that we turn to page 158 for Mi Chamocha, our prayer for freedom, for joy, for becoming who we were always meant to be.
Mi Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לבני משה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לבני מרים. זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני
I'm going to ask people to try something really quickly, and you might not be able to do it, and that's okay. But if we could take a moment and just put our arms out to the side like this. So basically, so they're kind of like if you're doing an airplane. And the idea is that sometimes when we're in person, we ask each other to put our arms around each other. And we can't do that on Zoom. And I understand that not even everyone likes having a stranger, put their arm around them. But I feel like this is a week where our community is wrapping its arms around each other. So for just a moment, you don't have to keep your arms up the whole time because it gets kind of painful unless you're really good at working out, which I'm not. But if just for the first part of Hashkivenu, we can put our arms around each other and sway a little bit. Even if you can't lift your arms, you can sway or nod your head, and we'll sing Hashkivenu together. And we are on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoenu lechaim ushalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu
We rise and turn to page 166 for the Amidah, for the heart of our service.
Adonai אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Take a moment now for prayer, for reflection, for silence, for breath. Take time to stand or sit in silence. And if you're standing, when you're done, please be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו עלינו, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
take time now to pray for the immense healing that the world needs, the immense healing that we need, whether it's from something physical we're going through or have been through, something emotional, something spiritual, something this week, this month, just even today. So if you are thinking of someone who you would like to send some strength and healing their way, you can submit their name in the link that is in the chat. And I'll read those names out loud, and then we'll pray Misha Berach together. So we send prayers of healing to Susan Levine, Mark Levine, Stan Gross, Sarah Golub, Louise Chapman, Mary Spriggs, Hildy Lieberman, Winifred Halsey, Heidi Habs, Anthony Barnes, Max Cohn, Phil Dunn, Flo Bernberg, Jonathan Spitz, Elaine Baddock, Javier Escalante, Sarah Griffith, Mike Best, Chuck Abrams, Sarah Kaplan, Jerry Schifrin, Eugene Schifrin, Shandel Schifrin, Merle Levine, Bob Kaplan, Hildy Lieberman, Jenny, Rita Mormino, Ralph Oppler, Deborah Willage, Candy Roller, Susan Reinish, Stephanie Reinish, Tony and Joel Fenkel, Roger Appel, Richard and Marianne, Susan White Smith, Pauline Lane, Sally Ebert, Michael and Carrie Bade, Jude, Dawn Sable, David Sussman, Barbara Sussman, Pam Zolnay, Nina Silverstein, Jim Clemens, Evelyn Harris, Cheryl Tanita, Avner Drucker, and Dee Dee Cohen. We send them and our community Misha Berach, and we join together to sing together.
Page
You're on
371.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. I've been looking forward to this sermon, and actually, Rabbi Singer, you really opened up a beautiful space for it in your opening words, because I have a really hot take. Now, this is a hot take because this is a thing that I feel like I'm absolutely supposed to like. Everyone likes it, especially Jews. It's a show that apparently spoke directly to the Jewish experience, especially in New York. Apparently, it was the epitome of humor. There were people that I was supposed to like, but I just never did. We figured out what show I'm talking about. I'm just not crazy about Seinfeld. I never got into it. I've watched a bunch of episodes, but it had I don't know, it had some hilarious moments, but I couldn't get into the show as a whole because I couldn't get into the characters. I mean, even in this image over here, I guess, like they don't look like lovable. And so yeah, I just never got into them. My next hot take, a little more recent, is I don't really love The Office. I, again, just couldn't really connect with the characters. So in writing this Devar Torah, this sermon, I realized, all right, I got to quote a rabbi in order to really couch my argument in the rabbinic zeitgeist. And Rashi and the Rambam, they didn't have much to say about this. But B'Shem Omra, in her name, in the name of Rabbi Yael Rapport of CBST in New York, I don't really love The Office because they're just not that nice to each other. Rabbi Rapport, I could not agree more. You may have seen there was an article that spoke to exactly this dilemma with shows like The Office and its antithesis, Ted Lasso. It came out this week in an article by James Poniowozik, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and it speaks to how 2 decades ago, TV's most distinctive stories were defined by a tone of ironic detachment. Today, they're more often sincere and direct. And I am here for stories and characters that are sincere, direct, honest, and who choose to be good. Ted Lasso quickly became one of my favorite shows in 2020. And I've actually had a little hint of it over my shoulder here since August for like the, I don't know, 4 people or so who have like pointed it out, this little believe sign here. I love this show because of its deep honesty, its sincerity. And this week's Torah portion plays into it a bit as well. It opens up in Deuteronomy 11:26, going through 11:29 with, "See, this day I have set before you blessing and curse. When the Lord your God brings you into the land that you are about to enter and possess, you shall pronounce the blessings at Mount Gerizim and the curse at Mount Ebal." There's this interesting anomaly, maybe with the first 2 words of this portion. You see here it said, "see this day." And those words are Re'eh Anochi. Re'eh Anochi. The standard translation is see, behold, or look, I've set before you. But that's not literally what these words mean. Re'eh is, in this instance, a command to look or see. Look, see, Anochi. Anochi, though, comes from the word ani, meaning I or me, as in ani ohev otach, or I love you. I, ani, or anochi in the old Hebrew way. Well, anochi also comes in the first of the 10 commandments with Anochi Adonai Elohechem is the first commandment. I am Adonai, your God. So if Anochi is I am or I, then what do we do with Re'eh Anochi? Well, maybe we're finding Moses saying, look at me. And actually, this is in accordance with the commentator Or HaChaim, an 18th century Moroccan rabbi and commentator, who suggests that these opening words can be understood to imply, look at me, at Moses. Look at me, as Moses is saying. So when we look at Moses, what do we see? Do we see a pessimistic leader dealing in irony, like maybe he's in The Office or Seinfeld? Or do we find more of a Leslie Knope type of person who deals exclusively in sincerity? Moses has had to be the most honest and truthful of as the Israelites have wandered from Egypt. The rest of the community has been complaining. Every single moment that they can, they have been complaining, not trusting Moses, not trusting God, and seemingly expecting the worst. Why have you brought us here where there's no water? Why have you brought us here where it's hot? Why have you brought us here to die in the desert? Guys, all of us, just trust me, Moses, and God. Moses has had to communicate that their pessimism has gotten way out of hand and they need to see what they actually look and sound like. Yet Moses, of course, is a person. He's a human as well. He's not the epitome of caring, of truthful, sincere leadership like maybe that show Ted Lasso. Rather, I think, as he says right here in our portion, see me. Re'eh anochi, see me. He's saying, see me for all that I am, the wholeness of myself. I, Moses, am broken as well. I'm working to be better. I'm hopefully better than I was back in Egypt, and better each and every moment that we've faced difficulty. Because honestly, Israelites, I'm trying. I need you to see me in all of my brokenness. The difference between the brokenness in TV shows of characters like The Office or Seinfeld or The Colbert Report, or Larry David, or even Archie Bunker, and all these shows, their brokenness was laughed at. It was used in ironic jokes and generally used as a punchline. But for Leslie Knope, Ted Lasso, characters in Schitt's Creek, even I think back to the Wonder Years, The West Wing, The Good Place, brokenness is used to humanize those who are on the show. It's used to humanize these characters. They are not perfect. Each of them in those shows says, Re'eh anochi, look at me. Look at me for who I am and for who I am not. See all of me, the good and the bad. This article that I've been referencing, the author writes, in TV's ambitious comedies as well as its dramas, the arc of the last 20 or so years is not from bold risk-taking to spineless inoffensiveness, but rather in its broad terms, a shift from irony to sincerity. I wonder about us. Have we been moving from irony to sincerity? I pose to us here tonight, how have we done that? Moved from irony, from guardedness, from not celebrating our differences or brokenness, to sincerity. In the Torah, we move from a stiff-necked people to Moses saying, look at me, all of me. How have we done that in the past week, month, years of our lives? How have we made those changes? Look at me. I am Scott Gelman. I am broken and I'm whole in many ways. I have some complex and difficult relations, and I feel deeply loved. I live my life with mental health challenges. I'm deeply proud of my work. I am physically broken in some ways, dealing with some daily pain, and I get to stand up strong in many other ways. I'm lucky to have some incredibly close friends, and many of them are spread around the country. As opposed to this particular moment, I often have a hard time being vulnerable. Really do love who I am and what I am, but it's taken a lot of work to get here. Look at me. What happens when people truly see us for who we are? What happens when we truly let people see us and celebrate us for all that we are? Do you feel like you fully share yourself? As the world of TV, movies, and books, and the whole zeitgeist has moved away from irony and towards sincerity and honesty for characters, can we do the same? In our moments of pain, can we actually respond to how are you doing with not so good? I'm actually holding a lot of pain right now. Can we feel ready to share the traumas that we're working through? Can we feel ready to say, listen, this thing is awesome right now, but this thing really sucks. And as friends and family who are hearing this, are we ready to say, yeah, it does suck? The needs that we feel to hide the things that we don't talk about, we often feel a need to hide those things we don't talk about. But when we do that, we only make it worse for ourselves, because those who care about us, they don't know that they can help us. They don't know that just simply calling and visiting or sharing a hug is something that we so desperately need in those moments. We don't, maybe have sympathy like Michael Scott or Larry David. They are not the epitome of sympathy, because often they're not being true to their own selves in those shows. Unlike Moses, though some of those characters are not saying, see me. So rather, I challenge us. Not even a challenge, I purely ask us, because it'll help each and every one of us. How can I be my true self in all that I do? And on the flip side, how can I be there for those who share themselves with me? When we ask people to see us, we invite them to sit with us, sitting with us in our pain and celebrating even stronger our joys. I hope that we can more consciously ask people in all realms of our lives to truly see us, and that they, in turn, respond by truly seeing our experiences, seeing our joys, and seeing to our pains, because we deserve it. Shabbat Shalom. In our Temple Sholom world, there are a lot of ways that we can connect with each other, ways that we can come together virtually and in person in the coming weeks. I'm going to bring Rabbi Singer up to our virtual bima here as well. So one of our exciting moments is Feed the Hungry. This is one of our incredible initiatives through Sholom Justice. And Feed the Hungry allows us the opportunity to sponsor a monthly Feed the Hungry Sunday. As a sponsor, you shop for the items that are needed, assemble sandwiches at home with our family, or bring in close people that we know together. And then at a socially safe distance with masks, we deliver them to a church that we partner with on the west side. So I invite you to contact Toby Sanders for more information. For those on Zoom, in the chat is our upcoming events page. Emma Harmon will put that in a moment, and we can find out more information about how we can be involved in that. And I'll actually take the next one too, Rabbi Singer.
Great.
Because it's connected also to Sholom Justice, and is our Monday meal every single Monday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. We gather to volunteer to put together supplies and a meal for those who are hungry in our neighborhood. We are missing the times when we could bring people into Temple Sholom to have a meal together. And I hope so badly we can do that soon. But we've been giving away to-go bags, and we need your help. If you're able to provide supplies such as chips, bottled water, granola bars, and other items, there's a whole list of things that we need, and I ask you to please sign up. And again, you could contact Toby Sanders in that upcoming events link in the chat. If you'd like to volunteer to help to pack up those bags or to sign up to donate some of these items that we put in the bags for those who are hungry in our neighborhood.
And on Wednesday, August 18th, we have our 40s and 50s open house. It's 40s-ish, 50s-ish. So if you're feeling too old for Makom, you're welcome at that, or I don't know, but exactly the right age for 40s and 60s, you should come, or 40s and 50s, you should come. And it's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's going to be a great opportunity to catch up with friends, meet new friends, and have, of course, drinks and food. So can't wait to see you there.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're getting a lot of exciting things coming up, especially as this month of August, we have a number of open house events, including, if you'd like to double dip in services tonight, our Or Chadash Shabbat, our Women of Temple Sholom open house is on Monday. And a number of other great opportunities that are in that upcoming events link. So we're going to turn back in our Siddur to page 586 as we rise in body or in spirit for Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
I'm always getting a little bit of a giggle from the live transcript. Thank you, Zoom, for most of the last part of Aleinu, Cantor Katzman. It just said whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And
That's what I was thinking, actually.
It reads your mind.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it does.
And whoosh, 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 we sometimes feel that difficulty of losing someone. It feels as if they were just here with us. It feels as if they were just sitting at the table celebrating a holiday or a life cycle with us. And this week, our Temple Sholom family is missing a number of people who are very close to our Temple Sholom family. As this week, we buried both Kenneth Siegel, father of Helene Cohn, and Tim Wolf, the brother of Rabbi Shoshana Conover. And on Thursday, we got the terrible news that Juliana Schaefer passed away, wife of Chad Schaefer and mother of Izzy Schaefer. And funeral services will be held on Sunday, this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. at Temple Sholom. We also lost Eleanor Meyer, mother of Jeff Meyer, grandmother of Andrew, Rachel, and Madeline Meyer. And her funeral will be held on Monday in St. Louis. And in this week, we are also recognizing the yahrzeits of Rodney Aronson, Estelle Arvey, Joanne McDavid Baird, Betty B. Brickman, Meyer Burton, Blanche Cargerman, Dr. Robert J. Cohen, Emma Lucille Kernick, Sydney Dorfman, Grace Fantas, Annette Fettman, Francis A. Friedman, Arthur M. Fuhrer, Peter Greisbach, Meg Kleinman, Harvey Kupfer, Betty Lou Malmud, Haskell Marinson, Frida Meister, Dora Peccio, Rosalind Penn, Bernard Pollock, Sarah Jean Ruttenberg, Abe Slesnick, Francis M. Stern, Robert Tuchel, Dr. Julian Ullman, Ronald Verson, Irving Weinstock, and Judith Gilson Weldon. And our Temple Sholom community is also thinking about Marcia Smith Leslie, Dr. Julian Ullman, Sylvia Spurtis, Howard Vihan, Sandra Goinshore, Sandra Weiss, Jess Schessel, Nick Stoller, Michael Cooper, Lige Fletter, William Mitchell, Rebecca Luker, Roberta Kay, and Hal Kay. And for all of them and those who go unnamed, who we hold in our hearts, we all together rise in body or in spirit for the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 598.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brich hu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom, shalom, shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen, amen. And I believe that we are closing out our service tonight with Ozi V'Zimrat Yah, a prayer about strength. And may we have the strength to be our true selves and our true selves in all that we do. May we all have a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of wholeness and of peace. Shabbat Shalom, all.